Today we're going to talk about landforms. Landforms are natural features that occur on the Earth's surface. There are 5 major landform regions. They are mountain, shield, valleys, plains, and plateau. First, we're going to talk about mountains. Mountains are created by movement in the Earth's crust. So the surface of the Earth, or the Earth's crust, is made up of plates that are constantly moving. And depending on how they move with one another, they can create different land formations. So a fold mountain is created when 2 plates move towards each other, and the pressure of them pushing on each other causes them to sort of break off, and the pieces pile up, pile up, pile up, and you end up having a mountain, or a fold mountain. A volcanic mountain is created when liquid or liquid-like substance is from below the Earth's surface, escapes through a gap in plates. And as the liquid comes up, as it hits the atmosphere, it cools and it falls, it cools and it falls, and it creates layering, 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 and you have a volcanic mountain. In Canada, we have mountainous regions on our west coast. We think of British Columbia and that area, and all the way down the west coast of North America. That would be our mountainous region. Shield. This is the oldest land formation there is on the Earth. It's just really, really old rock that hasn't been changed for as long as it's been around. It generally takes place in the center of a plate, so that because there is no interaction between the plates in the center, that's why it's been able to stay that way for thousands and millions of years. In Canada, it's the center area of Canada where Ontario, Quebec, and up into Nunavut is where the Canadian Shield is. Valleys. Valleys is a low area of land between 2 higher areas of land. And usually they have a river or a stream that runs through it. There are a couple kinds of valleys. A U valley, if you imagine almost like a box, where you'd have very steep, sharp edges, and you'd have almost a flat bottom. These are created usually by glaciers, where there's a movement of a glacier through a region, and it sort of moves all the material that goes through it, kind of carves it out, and so you're left with sort of that U shape. The V valley is it's more of a point, right? So at the bottom, it's narrower than it is wide at the top, and it usually has a river or stream that moves through it, and it's through erosion and things carrying material along through the valley. Then there's a rift valley. Rift valley is when there's a separation in plates, or the earth crust moves apart, and there's that very sharp, very deep valley in between. Plains. Plains are in an area of low elevation, meaning that most of the plains areas are below sea level. They used to be the bottom of where there was a sea. So there used to be water over top of them, and then as Earth shifted and different things happened on the Earth's crust, the water escaped and went somewhere else, and you were left with sort of this basin. It's very flat. It's very good for agriculture just because it once had this sort of ecosystem of water and other nutrients that were there that are now gone, so it's very good for agriculture, which is why the interior plains in Canada is Alberta, Saskatchewan, where a lot of our farmland is. And plateau. These are also a very flat formation, but they're different from the plains in that they are at a high elevation, where the plains are at a low elevation. They usually occur within a mountainous region, and it's the movement of the Earth's crust where the Earth's crust moves and pushes the land up in between a mountain. So you would have 2 mountain peaks, and where you probably would have a valley, there's a shift in the Earth's crust, and it's pushing up the Earth in between. So you have this mountain region and then this flat plateau that occurs in the middle. So there are your landform regions.